Welcome back to my channel. This time we are going to be reading a book again. I actually kind of liked when I read on the channel. It's like the only time I have motivation to read is when I read recording myself, which sounds stupid, but I don't know. I got a lot done last time. So, as you can see, we have two books now. We have The Sound and the Fury and the new Faulkner book, As I Lay Dying. So, I actually finished The Sound and the Fury like a week ago on Sunday, so 6 days ago. Oh yeah, that's kind of interesting. I thought that was kind of funny. In the physical copy of the book, which I have sitting somewhere, that actually is a real, it has this I in the print. It's like in the middle of the sentence, which was funny. I don't know what that quite means yet. I haven't analyzed this part, but yeah, keep your eye on Watson. Not sure. Anyway, yeah. I finished this whole book. There's no annotations here anymore because this is on a different platform called 𝘈𝘴, which is web browser based, but I actually kind of like it because you can copy and paste easier, and the books can be synced from device to device instead of iBooks where it's only, or Apple Books or iBooks, however you want to call it, where it's only on iOS devices and Macs and, you know, Apple related ecosystems, but this could be used anywhere because it's in the web browser and you can actually export it. So anyway, enough with that glaze of this. I did read the whole book. It took a long time because, again, it was very hard, and I actually thought that 𝘈𝘐's chapter was hard, but then I got to 𝘋𝘺's chapter, which is right here, and it got even harder. And this is where you want to wonder, why am I reading this book? All these highlights, I don't really have any notes. I just kind of highlighted them because I thought it was interesting or I didn't understand it, but this one especially, right? I mean, there's a lot of places, right? I'm spoiling a lot, so if you haven't read it, don't watch this. But yeah, we have like a lot of memories. Oh yeah, this scene, I forgot about that too. Ooh, yeah. So this whole thing was kind of interesting to read through, but very difficult at the same time. And it took me a while to get through this. His section is longer. Oh, you see, look at the text. I mean, this gives you an idea of what the frick this book is. I mean, it's just, dude, what the my gosh, dude. Yeah. So that's that. And then Jason's section was good too. A little easier, actually a lot easier than all of them. Also pretty long, but actually goes over some interesting points, and he has a lot of character to him as well, I think. That is shown in his section, of course, and even in the other sections. 𝘈𝘐's in particular, because it's in the same time period, I guess. 𝘋𝘺's only shows 𝘋𝘺's and I guess 𝘊𝐵, but 𝘋𝘺 doesn't have, hold on, does 𝘋𝘺 have? Table of contents, okay, there we go. 𝘋𝘺 has, see how the date is different? It's 1910, these are 1928, so this is way in the past, and it's only told kind of towards his, like, view, but it's very different because he's in a different place. He's in Harvard, right? So all of it's going to be different. I mean, it does have flashbacks and those like memories, but that's pretty much the only thing that you get that's from the other family members, because they're not all here. It's just him. But yeah, 𝘋𝘺's section's hard. I think it's probably the hardest one to understand for me. Maybe other people disagree. Maybe people say still that 𝘈𝘐's is the hardest, but I can't really understand 𝘋𝘺's at all. Because once you understand what 𝘈𝘐's kind of his deal is and how his chapter is, like, you know, organized, and how it's what happens, the actual like events that take place, it's not really too much to unpack besides actually the story, which that of itself is hard to unpack because he says that the whole story, Faulkner says the whole story is in this chapter, which is interesting, because it basically is. I mean, if you think about it, it is. But this one's harder to understand because some of the stuff is just vague, and I can't really connect all of the stuff to what happened in 𝘈𝘐's chapter, or not necessarily what happened, but what he remembers. There is some stuff, like right here, this part right here connects back to, oh wow, it even opened up a whole thing. Oops, no, don't delete that. Okay, wait, let me redo that. I think this connects to The night Caddy comes home after going out on a date, and Benji suspects something is not the same. Yeah. So this is it took me oh my gosh. I could not even, like, I'm stupid. Like, it was there. It's just, you have to, like, remember what happens in Benji's section, because it was a subtle little memory, but he does say it in his chapter. But yeah, that's just that one part. And the ending is also, of Quentin's section, is also kind of hard, because, like, it's like the conversation with his dad, and how his dad's kind of like, eh. Yeah, you see? It's all this whole part right here. And then he leaves the house with everything all tidied and ordered, which also has significance. Not sure exactly. I think it's because the only thing he could bring order to was the insignificant thing, which was, you know, his hat being brushed. And then he kills himself. So that's the end of that section. Yeah, once a bitch, always a bitch. And then the last section is also kind of hard. I think we're going to go over it soon, but it's like where they are at the church. So Miss Quentin leaves between April 7th and April 8th in the middle of the night, and Jason and them find out in the morning, and this is the whole scene in the morning. He's looking for her, blah, blah, blah. Where's the money? Oh, shit. And also the church scene, right, where he's like, where they're in the church, and, like, yeah, you could tell here. And then she's like, the famous quote, "I see the beginning and now I see the ending." That's basically it. So yeah, I finished this whole book. These are all the annotations. Not a lot of them have writing. As you can see, the darkish stuff is writing. But that is a wrap. Can't believe it. I actually really liked it. I don't even fully understand all of it, but I already know that I actually really enjoyed it. And that it was a good book, because even though it's kind of hard to understand at first, and it may be a little bit hard to kind of get into at first, it's really good. The message is there. And Faulkner's writing, what the hell? I'm wearing a blanket because it's freezing in here. His writing is quite interesting, I'd say. Very, very different from, like, Jane Eyre, for example. Kind of out there and in your face. Whereas this is more like, what is he even saying at first? This is doing a terrible job at... It's because I know why. It's because it's open. Okay, there, that should be better. Sorry if it's a lot of noise on my mic. It's because this thing is... Okay, there we go. It's not really doing a perfect job. Come on. There we go. Okay, I can actually read now. Okay, so we're going to start As I Lay Dying. This is a different book, obviously. Different, yeah, that's all this book. Different, I think a different way of writing as well. It's not exactly the same. But it's about this family who's carrying their dead, I guess, mom or wife to where she wants to be buried, and it's like all of their memories and, like, you know, their views on her, I guess. I don't really know. Yeah, that's the cover. I have no idea what I'm getting into. I did download the audiobook, but I don't want to use it because, like, that's not really... I don't think you can just do that. You can't just republish audiobooks, but I do have it. But let's just read it, like, you know, the old-fashioned way, I guess. Okay, so we start off with this POV Darl. Oh, you know what? I could probably read the editor's note or the reader's guide. We will provide that you... Nah, it's not really... Oh, there's questions. Wow, that's cool. We could probably answer those. It's pretty hard though. Oh, it's gonna spoil stuff. No, don't look at it. No, don't look at those. Oh, Ralph Ellison. Wait a minute. This was the guy that wrote Invisible Man. He is the greatest artist the South had produced. Indeed. Faulkner fights out the moral problem which is represented after the 19th century. Repressed, not represented. God, I can't read. Faulkner was actually seeking out the nature of man. There's John Steinbeck. Wow. Okay. Cool. Approaching... I don't care. Yeah, so it's the harrowing account of Bundrant's family across the Mississippi countryside to bury Addie, their wife and mother. Told by each family... Why does it do that? Told by each family member, including Addie herself. The novel ranges from dark comedy to deepest pathos. Oh, we're not going to keep going, I guess. Hello? Oh, wait. Publisher's note, Darrell. It's a Hall Smith. Okay, Darrell. Jewel and I come up from the field, following the path in a single file. We might use Spark Notes, I don't know, we'll see. People probably get mad that I use that, but I need help, because these are hard books, and I don't want to sit here figuring out forever. Jewel and I come up from the field, following the path in a single file. Although I am 15 feet ahead of him, anybody watching us from the cotton house can see Jewel's frayed and broken straw hat, a full head above my own. Jewel. The path runs straight as a plumb line, worn smooth by feet and baked brick hard by July. Between the green rows of 𝘈𝘴. Ooh, what does that mean? I've never seen that. Could look it up, I guess. No. Well, we'll look that up later. Laid by cotton? 𝘈𝘴? To the cotton house in the center of the field, where it turns and circles the cotton house at 4 soft right angles and goes on across the field again, worn so by feet in fading precision. The cotton house is of rough logs, from between which the chinking has long fallen. Square, with the broken roof set at a single pitch, it leans in empty and shimmering dilapidation in the sunlight. A single broad window and 2 opposite walls giving onto the approaches of the path. When we reach it, I turn and follow the path, which circles the house. Jewel, 15 feet behind me, looking straight ahead, steps in a single stride through the window. Still staring straight ahead, his pale eyes like wood set into his wooden face. Okay, that's a guy. I thought it was a girl. Jeez. Still staring straight ahead, pale eyes like wood set into his wooden face. He crosses the floor in 4 strides with the rigid gravity of a cigar store Indian dressed in patched overalls and endued with life from the hips down, and steps into a single stride through the opposite window and into the path again, just as I come around the corner. In a single file and 5 feet apart, and Jewel now in front, we go on up the path toward the foot of the bluff. Okay, so he's saying him and Jewel are walking along this path, right? There's a cotton house. It says it's square with a broken roof set at a single patch, and it leans in empty and shimmering dilapidation in sunlight. Single broad window and 2 opposite walls, giving onto the approaches of the path. A single broad window. Toll's wagon. Okay, so we are right here, right? They're basically walking around this house. Goes past the window. Toll's wagon stands beside the spring, hitched to the rail, the reins wrapped about the seat stanchion. Never heard of that. What is... I mean, I guess they have, like... a wagon. Wait, this was written in, like... what, 1920s? The other book had cars. Interesting. Maybe this is, like, before. Because I guess they did use horses in the South. Like, you know, in the early memories in The Sound and the Fury, they had horses. And then in the present, they have cars. So, we'll see. Might be in the past, actually. Like, before he wrote this, I guess. In the wagon bed, there are 2 chairs. Jewel stops at the spring and takes a gourd from the willow branch and drinks. I pass him and mount the path, beginning to hear Cash's saw. Who is Cash? Is he in here? Yeah, he is. Okay. When I reach the top, he has quit sawing. Standing in a litter of chips, he is fitting 2 of the boards together. Between the shallow spices, they are yellow as gold, like soft gold. bearing on their flanks in smooth undulations the marks of the adze blade. What is that? I don't know what that is. Nope, don't. Okay. Well, I guess you can, yeah, whatever. Delete that. Adze blade. A good carpenter caches. I guess it's just, his saw. A good carpenter, yeah, he holds the 2 planks on the trestle, fitted along the edges in a quarter of the finished box. He kneels and squints along the edge of them. Then he lowers and takes up the adze. A good carpenter. Addie Bundrum could not want a better one, a better box to lie in. It will give her confidence and comfort. I go on to the house, followed by the chuck, chuck, chuck of the adze. How do you pronounce that? Let's look it up. Come on. There we go. A hand tool. Oh, I've never seen. I would have never known. This is something I've never heard of. Maybe I'm stupid, or maybe I just need to be a carpenter or something. I don't know. A hand tool with a curved blade set perpendicular to a handle. Smoothing wood. Oh, okay. I think. Nope. I don't want to buy an adze. How do you pronounce that, though? Pronounce. Adze with a long A as in hat. And a Z sound at the end. Adze. Oh, there you go. Adze. That's how you say it. Okay. So you could just say, thing used for smoothing, carving, wood. Wait, was that what it was? I already freaking forgot. It's a hand tool with a curved blade set perpendicular. Shaping, scooping, and smoothing. Shaping. Smoothing. Shape. That's a period. Shaping, carving wood. Ooh, okay. Addie Bundrum. That is the character that they are. That's died. She's dead. I think she's dead. I don't know if she's laying dying or she's dead. This is the dead. So they are probably. I would not buy it. Yeah, that's a coffin. So he's like building that coffin, but I thought they were already supposed to be walking along the path. Like that's why I thought they were walking to her death area, like where they're gonna bury her. But maybe she's not dead yet, or she is dead and they don't have a coffin yet. But that's Darl. I wonder if it goes in chronological, like, you know, in order, like, oh, this happens then, and now it happens, and now it happens, instead of it just being all random. It might actually be told in like a chronological order of when it happened, but we'll never know. We're not going to know yet until we pull up the Spark Notes. That's okay. I actually just need to know the summary and not the analysis. I don't really care about the analysis yet because we're not done reading it. Alright, this is Cora. That's probably a girl, let's be honest. Just sounds like a girl. I mean, Jules sound like a girl, but whatever. Cora. So I saved out the eggs and baked yesterday. The cakes turned out right well. We depend a lot on our chickens. They are good layers. What few we have left after the possums and such, snakes too in the summer. A snake will break up a hen house quicker than anything. So after they were going to cost so much more than Mr. Toll thought, and after... Oh, that's supposed to be a pause. So after they were going to cost so much more than Mr. Toll thought, and after I promised that the difference in the number of eggs would make it up, I had to be more careful than ever because it was on my final say-so we took them. Yep, that's the writing style. Okay. We could have stocked cheaper chickens, but I gave my promise as Miss Lawington said. Lawington? When she advised me to get a good breed, because Mr. Toll himself admits that a good breed of cows or hogs pays in the long run. So when we lost so many of them, we couldn't afford to use the eggs ourselves, because I could not have had Mr. Toll chide me when it was on my say-so. We took them. Oh, wait. No. Wait. I had to be more careful than ever because it was on my final say-so. We took them. We took them. It's the same. Wait, why are they... I'm already confused. What does that mean? What? Say so we took them. Say so we took them. But not that it's repeating. It's the fact that I don't know what it's even saying. We couldn't afford to use the eggs ourselves because I couldn't have had Mr. Toll chide me when it was on my say so. We took them. And my phone's buzzing. Yep. I don't know what that means. Let me actually, because I'm so annoyed. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. Let me actually copy this. We took them. What? That's not Addie. Or a previous decision that they made. When it was on my permission, we took them. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. It's fine. I've heard of say so, like, oh, you know, permission. It's their permission, right? So it's just the fact that it says we took them. What am I missing something here? Okay, so when Miss Lawington told me about the cakes, I thought I could bake them and earn enough at one time to increase the net value of the flock, the equivalent of 2 head, and that by saving the eggs out one at a time, even the eggs wouldn't be costing anything. And that week they laid so well that I was not only saved out enough eggs above what we had engaged to sell to bake the cakes with, I had saved enough so that the flour and the sugar and the stove would not be costing anything. So I baked yesterday, more careful than ever I baked in my life. Oh, it is kind of, okay, so it's meant to be kind of weird, because look, it's not really flowing like the other one, because she's just kind of streaming of consciousness, maybe, I don't know. There's not really grammar again, so sounds like, not really grammar, but I mean, there's kind of interesting wording, like the other book. And the cakes turned out right well. More careful than I baked in my life. Oh, maybe that is fine. Hold on. I'm stupid. That was fine. I just didn't read that right. So I baked yesterday, more careful than ever I baked in my life. Huh. Okay. But when we got to the town this morning, Miss Lawington told me the lady had changed her mind and was not going to have the party after all. Should have taken those cakes anyway, Kate says. Well, I say, I reckon she never had no use for them now. She ought to have taken them, Kate says, but those rich town ladies can change their minds. Poor folks can't. Riches is nothing in the face of the Lord, for He can see into the heart. Maybe I can sell them at the bazaar Saturday, I say. They turned out real well. You can't get $2 a piece for them, Kate says. Well, it isn't like they cost me anything, I say. I saved them out and swapping a dozen of them for the sugar and the flour. It isn't like the cakes cost me anything. As Mr. Till himself realizes that the eggs I saved were over and beyond what we engaged to sell, so it was like we found the eggs or they had been given to us. She ought to take those cakes when she oh my God, she ought to taken those cakes when she same as gave you her word. The Lord can see into the heart. If it is His will that some folks has different ideas of honesty from other folks, it is not my place to question His decree. I reckon she never had any use for them, I say. They turned out really well, too. She keeps saying that. Okay. Wait, so when we lost so many of them, we couldn't afford to use the eggs ourselves. We could not have Mr. told me when it was on my permission that we took them. So when Miss Longton told me about the cakes, I thought that I could bake them and earn enough. Oh. Oh, that's why. Okay. I'm going to say, like, what is the whole cake thing? It's because she's saying, oh, well, it's, you know, we can't afford to use the eggs ourselves because they lost a bunch of chickens that died from, like, animals, right? And so Miss Longton told me about the cakes that I thought that I could bake and earn enough at one time to increase the net value, you know, of the flock at the equivalent of two head. Oh, even the eggs wouldn't be costing anything. Saving the eggs out one at a time, even the eggs wouldn't be costing anything. And that week, they laid so well that I not only saved out enough eggs above what we engaged to sell to bake the cakes with, maybe they want to sell the eggs, so they don't want her wasting it on cake. So that's why when she said, "Oh, they made a lot of eggs, they laid a lot of eggs," that doesn't matter. I don't know. I gotta read up on this because it's confusing me, and I'm stupid and I can't understand it. What the fuck? Okay, the quilt is drawn up to her chin, hot as it is, with only her two hands and her face outside. She's propped on the pillow with her head raised so that she can see out the window, and we can hear him every time he takes up the adze or the saw. If we were deaf, we could almost watch her face and hear him, see him. Oh, if we were deaf, we could almost watch her face and hear him, see him. Her face is wasted away so that the bones draw just under the skin in white lines. Her eyes are like two candles when you watch them gutter down into the sockets of iron candlesticks. But the eternal and the everlasting salvation and grace is not upon her. So she's like dying, basically. And she's watching him make the coffin. I don't know. She's dying and watching him carve that box. Okay. They turned out real nice, I say, but not like the cakes Addie used to bake. You can see that girl's washing and ironing in the pillow slip, if ironed it ever was. Maybe it will reveal her blindness to her, laying there at the mercy and the ministration of 4 men and a tomboy girl. There's not a woman in this section could ever bake with Addie Bundren, I say. First thing we know, she'll be up... First thing we know, she'll be up and baking again, and then we won't have any sale for ours at all. Under the quilt, she makes no more of a hump than a rail would. And the only way you can tell she's breathing is by the sound of the mattress shucks. Even the hair at her cheek does not move, even with that girl standing right over her, fanning her with the fan. While we watch, she swaps the fan to the other hand without stopping it. Is she sleeping? Kate whispers. She's just watching Cash yonder. Cash is the guy who's cutting. The girl says, we can hear the saw on the board. It sounds like snoring. 𝘈𝘴, I guess that's how you pronounce that. 𝘈𝘴 turns on the trunk and looks out the window. Her necklace looks real nice with the red hat. You wouldn't think it only cost 25 cents. She ought to take those cakes. Kate says, I could have used the money real well, but it's not like they cost me anything except the baking. She already said that, right? I can tell him that anybody is likely to make a miscue. But it's not all of them that can get out of it without loss, I can tell him. It's not every day that everybody can eat their mistakes, I tell him. eat their mistakes, right? I guess because it doesn't really matter, because it's cake, and so they can eat it, and it didn't cost her anything, I guess. Someone comes through the hall. It is Darl. He does not look in as he passes the door. Eula watches him as he goes on and passes from sight again toward the back. Her hand rises and touches her beads lightly, and then her hair. When she finds me watching her, her eyes go blank. Darl again. Let's consult a resource that's cheating, but I want to know what is going on in her chapter, because like there has to be something more, right? It's not just her talking about cakes and looking at Addie and just like saying, oh, she looks dead, or she's dying, and then that's it. Like, what? And Kate saying, oh, well, the cakes, they should have taken them or something. I don't know. What am I looking up? Oh, that's what I was. Wait a minute. This is a plus. Nice. Okay. Nope, I don't want... Oh, it's gonna... Wow, Intrepid. Fuck you. Why are the ads so bad on this page? I swear to God, it's like... It slows down everything. It literally does. The most resource-hogging website because of all the shit ads on everywhere. Ridiculous. Okay. Guess they need to make money somehow. Which they already do, by the way, from this plus shit, so... Whatever, dude. Darl Bundren describes walking with his brother Jewel across the field toward their house. Okay, that it was there. I was gonna say, like, that's their house, right? Like, why would it be anything else if they're walking towards it and there's Addie inside? Dilapidated cotton house, which Darl walks around, but Jewel walks straight through. Oh, I didn't get that. Okay, I didn't... Maybe it was there. I didn't know that he walked all the way around. And Jewel walks straight through, entering and leaving through the building's large, open windows. Then they reach the foot of a bluff where Vermin told the Bundren's wealthier neighbor has stacked 2 chairs on his wagon. At the top of the bluff, Darl and Jewel's older brother, Cash, is dutifully fitting boards together for a coffin. Darl walks past Cash and enters the house. Wait, is that shown in here? Yeah, it is. It's not shown in his chapter, I think. Well, it might be. No, it's... I go into the house. Yeah, okay, he does say that. That's when Cora sees him, I guess, and she's like, oh, he's coming in. Toll. Oh, wait, this is fucking... Dumbass. Okay, that's what... Oh, my God. It's not even... Cora is Toll's wife, but that's a neighbor. The narrative perspective shifts to that of Toll's wife, Cora, who is thinking about some cakes she was recently hired to make, only to see the order cancel. Okay, we did that. I know that. Cora's daughter, Kate. Oh, that's their daughter. What? Rails against the injustice. They should have taken those cakes. Okay, yeah. Well, Cora takes it in stride. What? Addie lies nearby, frail and silent, hardly breathing, as Cora's other daughter, Eula, watches over her. Outside, the sound of Cash's sawing continues. Cora recalls... Wait. Why are the neighbors helping them? Who knows? The sound of Cash's sawing continues. Cora recalls Addie's talent for baking cakes. I remember that. Yep, that happens. I just read it like 2 seconds ago. Addie appears to be either asleep or watching Cash's efforts through the window. Darl passes through the house without a word and heads for the back of the house. Darl enters... Okay. Account is as follows. Ants. Ants say ants? And their neighbor Vernon. Okay, don't spoil anything, but wow. This book is interesting. How long is this for? Not long again. Jewel is short. It's all short sections. I'm literally going forward. Why am I doing this? Hello? Okay. Let me just see, because I'm curious. I'm at Darl section already. We're already we're only 4%. Okay, so it's super long because there's all these sections. It probably does get longer, but right now it's like each of the ones are super short, but it's switching back and forth. And it's also kind of like going at like different, I guess, perspectives from this is probably their family. Darl is maybe their family, but 𝘊𝘴 is not. Although Darl, yeah, that's the family. Okay, Darl again. Here we go. Pa and Vernon are sitting on the back porch, so Pa is answer. Pa is tilting snuff from the lid of his snuff box. Ooh, I don't know what that is. I actually forgot what snuff is. Snuff. What is that? Sounds like... I would use context clues, but I don't know. I don't want to figure it out right now. Wait, no. What is a snuff box? Oh, just tobacco. Wait. Yeah, right? Holding the lip outdrawn between thumb and finger, they look around as I cross the porch and dip the gourd into the water bucket and drink. Where's 𝘈𝘴? Pa says. When I was a boy, I first learned how much better water tastes when it has set a while in the cedar bucket. Warmish cool, with a faint taste like the hot July wind and cedar tree smells. It has to set at least 6 hours and be drunk from the gourd. Water should never be drunk from metal. Gourd. What is it, gourd? See, I'm gonna have to keep Googling. What? That is not. Is that what it is? Wait. Dip gourd in water bucket. Oh, it's not. No. No, that's not. No, that's not what I want. Wait. Okay, it's probably not important, right? It can't be important, right? Maybe? Okay. And at night, it is better still. I used to lie on the pallet in the hall, waiting until I could hear them all asleep, so I can get up and go back to the bucket. It would be black, the shelf black, the still surface of the water a round orifice in nothingness, where before I started awake with the dipper, I could see maybe a star or two in the bucket, and maybe a star or two before I drank. After that, I was bigger, older. Then I would wait until they went to sleep, so I could lie with my shirt tail up, hearing them out asleep, feeling myself without touching myself. Jeez, what is he doing? Feeling the cool silence blowing upon my parts and wondering if Cash was yonder in the darkness doing it too. Okay, maybe he's... Then I would wait up until they all could sleep so I could lie with... Wonder what he means by doing it. Huh. Maybe just drinking water? What? That doesn't make sense. What? I guess so, because that's what he's saying here, right? When they were all asleep, so I can go up and get back to the bucket. Okay, sure. Pa's feet are badly splayed, his toes cramped and bent and warped, with no toenail at all on his little toes, from working so hard on the wet and homemade shoes when he was a boy. Beside his chair, his brogans sit. They look as though they have been hacked with a blunt axe out of pig iron. Vernon has been to town. I've never seen him go to town in overalls. His wife, they say, She taught school, too, once. I don't know what a brogan is. Who cares? Keep going. I fling the dipper dregs to the ground and wipe my mouth on my sleeve. It is going to rain before morning. Maybe before dark. Down to the barn, I say, harnessing the team. Ooh. Down there fooling with that horse. He will go through the barn, into the pasture. The horse will not be in sight. He is up there among the pine seedlings, in the cool. Jewel whistles, once and shrill. The horse snorts, then Jewel sees him, glinting for a gaudy instant among the blue shadows. Jewel whistles again. The horse comes dropping down the slope. Stiff-legged, his ears cocking and flicking, his mishmash eye rolling, and fetches up 20 feet away. Broadside on, watching Jewel over his soldier in an attitude kittenish and alert. Kittenish. Ew, okay. What does that mean? Maybe that's not a word. Oh. Playful, lively, or flirtatious. Let's go with playful and lively. Because I don't know about flirtatious. I don't think a horse could be flirtatious. Probably those two. Come here, sir, Jewel says. He moves. Moving that quick, his coat bunching, tongue swirling like so many flames. With tossing mane and tail and rolling eye, the horse makes another short, curveting rush and stops again, feet bunched, watching Jewel. Jewel walks steadily towards him, his hands at his sides. Save for Jewel's legs, they are like two figures carved from a tableau savage in the sun. How does one pronounce that word? Nope, I did not even copy it. You literally have to press that to copy it. Okay, whatever.
Tableau.
A group of models or motionless figures. Oh, I've never heard of that. Okay. Might as well. Just put that in there, why not? It's not important towards the story, but hey. They are like two figures carved for a tableau, savage in the sun. When Jewel can almost touch him, the horse stands on his hind legs and slashes down at Jewel. Then Jewel is enclosed by a glittering maze of hooves, as by an illusion of wings among them, beneath the upreared chest. I can't read, dude. He moves with the flashing limberness of a snake. For an instant before the jerk comes onto his arms, he sees his whole body earth-free, horizontal, whipping snake limber, until he finds the horse's nostrils and touches earth again. Then they are rigid, motionless, terrific, the horse back thrust unstiffened, quivering legs with lowered head. Jewel with dug heels, shutting off the horse's wind with one hand, while the other patting the horse's neck in short strokes, myriad and cursing the horse with obscene ferocity. Actually, let me look up how to pronounce that. It's interesting. Could be either, maybe...
Ferocity.
It is ferocity, okay. They stand in rigid, terrific hiatus, the horse trembling and groaning. Then Jewel is on this horse's back. He flows upward in a stooping swirl like the lash of a whip, his body in midair shaped to the horse. For another moment the horse stands spraddled, with lower head, before it bursts into motion. They descend the hill in a series of spine-jolting jumps, Jewel high, leech-like on the withers, to the fence where the horse bunches to a scuttering halt again. Well, Jewel says, you can quit now if you got a plenty. Inside the barn, Jewel slides running to the ground before the horse stops. The horse enters the stall, Jewel following. Without looking back, the horse kicks at him, slamming a single hoof into the wall with a pistol-like report. Jewel kicks him in the stomach. The horse arches his neck back. What? Okay, sure. Without looking back, the horse kicks... Oh, okay, the horse arches his neck back, crop-toothed. Jewel strikes him across the face with his fist and slides onto the trough and mounts upon it. Clinging to the hayrack, he lowers his head and peers out the stall tops and through the doorway. The path is empty. From here he cannot even hear Cash sawing. He reaches up and drags down the hay in hurried arms full and crams it into the rack. Eat, he says. Get that goddamn stuff out of sight while you got a chance, you puzzle-gutted bastard. You sweet son of a bitch, he says. Wow, what a horse. Okay, so basically what happens, he's saying, in the barn, Jewel struggles violently to mount a horse before finally leaping onto its back and riding it up and down a hill. When he gets back to the barn, Jewel dismounts and feeds the horse. That's basically what happens here. I mean, it's a big description, but this is basically what happens, right? He's just trying to get onto the horse. It's crazy, but probably because he abuses it. I mean, look, he's like, Jewel kicks him in the stomach, hits him across the face, strikes him across the face. So, wonder why the horse doesn't like you, bro. Freaking abuser. Oh well. I think that's it for today. I only read like 3 chapters. Sorry, took a while, but this book is kind of hard again. I knew it was going to be. Actually, it's not as bad as the other Sound and the Fury. Like, it's not as hard to understand the first scene, which already turns people off if you can't understand the first paragraph. But I think it still has a lot of meaning in it, and I haven't quite gotten that yet. But we're going to read more of it in part 2, because I'm actually going to read this whole book probably on a video, which might not take, on a series of videos, which might not take that long because it's not actually long. It's actually shorter than the other books, so yeah, we'll see. Anyway,